Hello, I'm Yvette Dudley-Neuman with today's segment of Yvette's Upset. I'd like to get the ball rolling, and by ball, I mean egg, with COVID-19 hoarders. You got some egg-splaining to do. Honestly, I'm not an obsessive person, and I don't spend my days thinking about eggs. But recently, I have had eggs on the brain. This is because some people have been hoarding eggs. Now, you might be thinking, take it over easy. Stop exaggerating. But this is no joke. This shortage of eggs due to hoarding is not just happening in British Columbia or even Canada. No, people, this is a worldwide egg-demic. It seems that a pandemic results in an egg-demic, and all over the world, people are scrambling for their eggs. I never really thought about the value of an egg except for the obvious. I like to get basted with the best of you, and like you, I usually eat them for breakfast. There are many people who believe if you've got an egg, you've got a meal. And nutritionists will claim that eggs are one of the best sources of protein with a biological value of 94%. This means that only 6% of the egg is not used by your body. Eggs are actually invaluable. There are a lot of things that you need eggs for. They're essential for binding together ground fish or meat products for patties and meatballs. Eggs are crucial for baked goods, pancakes, rich pastries, pasta, soufflés, meringues, ice creams, mousses. Okay, now I'm hungry. Even a simple loaf depends on the humble egg. Our love of baked goods has resulted in a popular pandemic pastime. People who have never set foot in a kitchen are now passing their isolation staycation by getting in some stress baking and subsequently some stress eating. A few weeks ago, I found myself without any eggs, so I went to Costco to get some. But the entire cooler area was empty. No milk, no creamer, and no eggs. None. I waited a few days and went back again because surely Costco would have eggs then. Still no eggs. I tried Save On Foods, no eggs. Shoppers Drug Mart, no eggs. Safeway, no eggs. That's when the panic crept in. Where will I get eggs? When will more eggs be available? What if the chickens can't cross the road? Why did Salvador Dali feature fried eggs in a painting? They say the deviled eggs are all in the details, and this has caused me to start fantasizing about some kind of radical farm field trip where I might be able to poach some. Then I stopped and I thought, this is ridiculous. This is a silly thing to be panicking about. I felt kind of stupid. And then I realized maybe it's not that stupid after all. Because people, maybe even you, people were panicking about toilet paper long before they were panicking about eggs, which left no toilet paper on the shelf, and now no eggs. At night, I awake several times dreaming of eggs, then screaming for eggs, or at least for someone to put Humpty back together again. And finally, I get up and chant a prayer to Saint Benedict to calm my fried nerves. I've had several sleepless nights, and every time the sunny side up of that golden yolk comes up far too early, I make a quiche face too close to the mirror, which reveals my bloodshot whites of my eyes, which now resemble huevos rancheros and leave me feeling like a toad in the hole. My temper is boiled, but I vowed to call all the stores in my neighborhood. I'ma let you in on a secret. Like the chickens of late, I don't give up easily. It took most of the morning, but just before 11 a.m., my husband found out that eggs, yes, eggs, were about to be delivered to the Shoppers Drug Mart near our home. So we whisked ourselves into the car, and I scrambled into the store only to find an empty shelf. I asked the girl who was offloading a giant pallet of milk, because there was no milk on the shelves, if they had any eggs. She cocked her head and looked at me like she'd like to tar and feather me. Obviously, I was stunned and stupid because if there were eggs, they would be on the shelf. She cracked a wry smile and said, Now, we don't have any eggs. Well, breathless, I replied. Well, my husband just called someone in the back and they told him that the eggs had just arrived. She wasn't exactly happy with me, but she did say she would go and take a peep. She came back from the shipping area with a case of eggs, which contained 12 cartons. So 12 dozen times 12 eggs, or 144 eggs. She clucked, "Do you want the whole case?" My mouth fell open. The whole case? This mentality is exactly what started this mess in the first place. I took 2 dozen eggs. 2 dozen, people. Why? Because there's probably a mom somewhere who needs eggs for her kids, or a senior who counts on eggs as an inexpensive source of protein. We're in this together, people. This is one time when you do have to put all your eggs in one basket and share. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. COVID-19 or no COVID-19, hoarders, you got some explaining to do. I'm Yvette Dudley-Neuman for Yvette's Upset. Join me for my next episode when we'll talk TP and I'll ask the infamous question, Sista, can you spare a square?